do it.
So this is
I want to hear this face-offs.
Yeah, right. I tried to put some thought into it. I tried not to like, do the one like everybody always says like, oh, Batman versus Wolverine or Batman versus Predator. For some reason, those are like really popular. Like, I don't know. I feel like Wolverine and Predator win both of those. But anyway,
Yeah, I agree.
but I tried to make them like unique. And maybe like, oh shit, I never thought of that one before. I'm sure someone's thought of like maybe one or two of these, but but yeah, this is a segment that Edward and I haven't done in a long ass time. The last time we were doing this, we didn't even have like a proper mic setup or anything. So, so we'll get into, this is the fictional character face-off, or shortened version, fictional face-off segment of the podcast.
Fictional face-off.
The reoccurring segment where we take fictional characters, we put them against each other, we talk about who we think would win, whether it depends on the context of the story that they are in. So whether it's a physical fight, a battle of wits, etc. First one I got here, Edward, is Walter White versus Lalo Salamanca.
Okay.
Now here's the thing, yeah, because like just to unpack it real quick, like, Walter White, the protagonist of Breaking Bad, Lalo Salamanca, one of the chief antagonists of Better Call Saul. The two never cross paths, right? By the time the Breaking Bad timeline happens, Lalo is, for whatever reason, we won't talk about it, but he's not in the picture physically anymore. But what you got on that, Edward?
Well, this is going to be a pretty straightforward answer for me. Because Walter White is ultimately a character that in his narrative in the Breaking Bad universe is undefeated.
Yeah.
Like the only downfall of that character was himself.
Yeah.
And he really went out like by his own terms. And he defeated the character that defeated Lalo. So Lalo was outsmarted and defeated by Gus. And ultimately Walter outsmarted and defeated Gus. So I think through the whole logic of this process, I'm going to go with Walter. Because Walter ascended to insane levels. I mean, he like orchestrated like a jail like mass murder that happened like between like 30 seconds or something like that.
Yeah. It was like 2 minutes or something like that. Yeah, it was like crazy.
Yeah. So like, I mean, the things that character ended up achieving and doing in that series are insane.
Yeah.
So 100%, I give it to Walter. Walter. I think Walter will succeed.
I agree, because here's the thing. For a little, when I thought about it at first, I was like, okay, so for a minute, I was like, I think, because Lalo is a lot more impulsive than Gus, right? He's a way more impulsive character. Like, Lalo's a fucking, sociopath, where Gus is just a bad dude. Like, I don't think Gus is a sociopath or a psychopath at all. I think Gus is just a bad guy. That's my armchair psychologist assessment of him, right? Lalo's a freaking sociopath, like, freaking
bad guy.
Yeah, he's, narcissistic, psychopathic, sadist, and he has that psychopathic, he in a lot of ways, right? Like, people like to think that, oh, Lalo is, Tuco's superior. He is, absolutely. He's more, he is way more intelligent than Tuco, and he can charm people. Tuco could never have done the whole like Germany thing where he goes and like woos Mrs. Ziegler. Like, no way. The Tuco never could have done that. He just would have walked in and be like, Mrs. Ziegler, like, tell me what the fuck Vernon was building, like, that would have been Tuco's version of that. But Lalo is very similar to Tuco in the sense that he is impulsive, whether he would admit it or not. The character is impulsive, We see it in that show. He fucking kills people on a dime. Like, if he's like, okay, you know what? I need this person dead now for whatever reason. Bam. And then it we see for when Saul becomes his lawyer, it catches up with him, right? So for that reason, I was like, that could actually be a strength, because Walt's just this fucker that's like he's just a guy that like lives at home. So like if Lalo had it out for him, it'd be just like, oh, it's over. But then I thought about, well, think about, not only did he defeat Gus, right? And I'm gonna definitely put a
Mhm.
spoiler tag in the chapters here, in the video. But he
Yes,
also
I'm keeping
defeated.
track of the times. You'll know when this comes up.
Yeah, I jotted it down too. But thank you. He not only defeated Gus, but he also defeated Tuco, who's really fucking impulsive. Why did he defeat both of
Mhm.
them? Why did Walter White go undefeated? Well, it's because of how valuable he is. It's because of his skill set, right? Like, and Tuco didn't kill him. Why? He's so valuable. He's not gonna give that up, right? Gus, it took
Mhm.
forever for
Mhm.
Gus. Gus had to wait to be able to finally be like, okay, now I could kill Walter, right? 'Cause he had to
Yeah,
wait.
by
He's
that
like,
point it
I
was
don't
too
have a
late.
fucking cook. Like,
Yeah,
he's like, I don't have a fucking guy to run my lab. Like this, I'll lose
yeah,
so much money, right? So
yes.
you have to assume Lalo, being as intelligent as he is and money hungry as he is, he would be like, I'm not gonna, just impulsively kill Walter, right? And for that reason,
Mhm.
again, you give Walter any inch, any amount of breathing room, he's gonna fucking outsmart you. So I agree. I agree.
Right. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I think that was a very, well worded way of, saying why he would have actually been the guy to succeed in that scenario.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And also, in the sense, another way to word what you said is like, again, he defeated Gus, who defeated Lalo. So it's like rock paper scissors, right? It's like,
Mhm.
it's like, but not,
Yeah,
because it's more like, it's like, well, if Gus defeated Lalo and Walter defeated Gus, then Walter can defeat Lalo. It's just like kind of a chain of logic. So
right. So
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah.
The next
What else you got?
I got okay, I got three more. Pinhead versus Freddy Krueger.
Mm. That's like a difficult one for me because I'm not like I'm not entirely familiar with the extent of these characters' powers, but what I do have to say is that it seems that for Freddy, you have to the whether they always defeat him is because they cease to be scared of him.
Yeah.
And people come to the realization that they have power over their own dreams, and that in their own dreams they can be powerful and take him down. So because of that, just because of how this guy always gets foiled, I'm gonna give it to Pinhead.
Yeah, because
Although I'm not
Pinhead's
entirely sure of what Pinhead's powers are.
well, yeah, because Pinhead's like not afraid of jack shit. Like that's the thing
Right.
with him. So it's really hard. And Pinhead is, he's like this. He's basically like a sorcerer. He's like, can move shit with his
Yeah.
mind and like teleport and stuff. So if he has powers outside of dreams, he would definitely have powers like in his dreams if he even sleeps. Which,
Right.
and
If even
what you
sleeves.
yeah, and what you said is true, because it's like so much of this requires you to add in the context that makes sense, right? Because like with the Lalo versus Walter thing, you have to look at, unless it's like superhero battles, you can't just go off brute force. You have
Mhm.
to look at the context, right? So it's like, well, the context with Lalo versus Walter White is that Lalo would find Walter White super valuable, right? Like you have to look
Mhm.
at it in that
Mhm.
way. And it's the same thing with this. Like, what's the context? And I think you put that really well. Like, Freddy usually has power over you because you're afraid of him, right?
Mhm.
So I agree. Pinhead, I can't recall a single moment in any of the Hellraiser movies that I've seen where Pinhead approaches a remote sense of fear, like whatsoever.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Mhm.
I think Freddy gets smoked. I agree.
I think he gets smoked.
Yeah.
He's just an old slashy dude. He's all burnt up and he has like knives for fingers. So he's not like at the end of the day, it's like even when you take him physically for what he is, he's not gonna Pinhead's still gonna take him.
Yeah.
So
Well, he got fucked up by
yeah,
Jason too. Jason fucked him up.
he did.
Jason
Yeah,
won. It was clean. It was
yeah,
clear cut. Like
yeah.
they had that little wink at the end of the movie, but Jason won that
They
battle.
did, yeah.
I mean, once Freddy
Yeah.
was outside the nightmare realm, it's done. Okay,
It was never
go
versus
ahead.
those two characters because Jason was always gonna win. Jason's like this like zombie. Like he was never Freddy was never gonna win that battle.
Yeah,
It was a silly thought experiment, that movie.
yeah, yeah. It was. It was. Next, I got this. This one is more like brute strength. Superman versus Thor.
Superman. Actually, Thor.
Think so? Because he's got his
Yeah, because
hammer.
from what I understand, and this is gonna be a little bit of a nerd, I guess, element to this.
Yeah,
But from what I understand,
we're just Sheldon and Leonard at this point.
Superman, yeah, from what I understand, Superman is weak to magic.
Is that
If
right?
I'm remembering this, if I'm like thinking about this right, and if he is weak to magic, then Thor should win because Thor is a magic man.
Yeah, yeah.
But if he isn't weak to magic, then Superman should win.
Holy shit! I'm looking at this now. This is on CBR.com. Superman has already beaten Thor. How do you like that, Edward?
He has?
Yeah. Is it because I guess because
Huh.
they've done DC Marvel crossovers. Despite this is what I'm
Yeah.
reading here. Despite all evidence to the contrary, Superman soundly defeated Thor when the two heroes actually faced one another. Their most meaningful interaction came when the Marvel and DC universes collided in Kurt so and so's Avengers in 2003. Oh, Justice League Assemble versus Avengers in 2003. At the end of that crossover's first issue, Thor hurled his hammer into Superman's face as the League and the Avengers confronted one another. Full on battle. The fight between Superman and Thor took center stage. They pushed themselves to the limit. Da da da. Um, Thor withstood the full might of Superman's heat vision. They traded blows, but when Thor tried to knock Superman out with his hammer, Superman turned the tables and put down the God of Thunder with one punch. I don't know
Huh.
about that.
Okay. I guess that kind of settles it a little bit. I looked it up and it says Superman isn't weak to magic, but he has no weaknesses to magic, even though it can hurt him. Magic doesn't work like kryptonite or the red sun when it comes to Superman, as those objects weaken him. However, magic attacks do not do that to Superman. So basically, magic can hurt him, but it can't actually make him weak. So basically, he just
Interesting.
remains impervious anyway, even though it like actually physically makes him feel pain.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't know
So
though.
that
That
being
that
said,
seems like
that's
a
Superman.
John
Yeah,
Cena move though, defeating Thor with one punch. You know what I mean? It's like okay.
it is. It is.
Um, I'm going. I would agree with you though, despite that one story because it's just one story. I would say just based on my familiarity with both characters, it's hard to say because Superman just has such a presence where it's just like that guy just seems so fucking invincible. I feel like if you look at cinema,
He is.
all of cinema, the amount of times you've seen Thor in a position of vulnerability outweighs the number of times you've seen Superman in a state of vulnerability.
Yeah, yeah. Because that's the thing. Because Superman technically he is just like a god, and I think there's like comics of his where he canonically has basically become like a god
Yeah.
because it basically just depends on like how much power he's willing to exert and like how like his proximity to the sun. Like there's like battles in which like the opponent has just set him directly into the sun, and then he's just become like basically god. Like his power is just elevated. So I think Superman is just too much
I agree.
because of just like there's no defeating that character. He's literally a god. Like that guy literally is a god. Whereas Thor also literally is a god.
Literally a
But
god.
Thor is literally a god. More so than Superman. Thor literally is a god. But Thor it's weird because that guy like seldomly feels that way. Like his character so often feels like so malleable, especially in those like especially because Marvel I feel like really nerfed him like really hard.
Yeah.
Like in those movies,
Well, he even
like
gets
they
fat at
had
one
him like
point.
jump exactly, and they have him like jump out to Thanos,
Yeah.
like so much. Thanos just owns him that in that movie. Kills his like spoilers, spoilers for Infinity War, spoilers for the big Shrek movie, but Purple Shrek, kills Loki, and he like defeats Hulk and completely evaporates Thor. So they I feel like they just like I feel like they just like make that character so small in those movies. And from what I understand, they like transferred his powers to like Natalie Portman. So now he's not even Thor anymore. So it's like,
Yeah.
what is the idea with the character? I thought that he was like, he was born the god of thunder. I thought that that was who he was, but he felt always like kind of weak, you know. So
I agree. I
and even
agree
in, and
because if
even
you
in
look
that
at
Taika
like the,
Waititi movie that happens like, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like looking at it from a because not only physical and power level, but also just mindset. Like, there's no version of Superman that has ever and probably will ever. Like, you would hear outrage if Superman ever became as big of a goofball as Thor became, as like a
Mhm.
butt of the joke as Thor became, as malleable or a fat guy, right? Like fat with like a beer gut. You know, like if any of
Yeah.
those things happened, people would be completely outraged and would shun it. Where it was like more controversial with Thor, but people kind of ran with it. And
Mhm.
that goes to say that the reason people wouldn't accept that with Superman is because that character just has that like, that perseverance, right? That like, pushing through that discipline. He's that all-American boy kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah, he's got a galaxy brain. He's a smart man.
yeah, I would say he's got like the mindset over on Thor, especially if we're
Yeah.
looking at like the
Yeah. So
MCU,
I
the
give
movie versions of the characters. Yeah.
yeah, so no, I give it to him. I give it to Superman. I don't think Thor can take.
Yeah, I agree. All right, last one. This is a battle. This is more of a battle of wits. But this is
Mhm.
Eric Cartman versus Stewie Griffin.
Stewie.
I agree. I agree.
I don't even have to think about that one because Stewie's a genius. He invented time travel. So
Yeah.
I give it to Stewie. Yeah.
Yeah, because here's the thing, like Stewie. So let's even take away like let's ground them both in like the same universe, right? So like they are on more
Mhm.
equal footing. So maybe even take away like Stewie's time travel abilities, right? And like Cartman has done some diabolical shit, and he's gotten one. He's got one over on people. Namely, the biggest one is like Scott Tenorman, right? Like he orchestrated that whole
Right.
thing. But I feel like that's the only episode that actually the only one that I can think of, excuse me, where like Cartman
Mhm.
actually comes out on top. Like just looking at their characters, right? Stewie's the butt of the joke in some later Family Guy episodes, but Stewie generally in like you said, time travel episodes, like with Brian and the multiverse and all that shit, like Stewie figures shit out. Like whenever him and Brian are in like a pickle, it always ends with Stewie being like, "Oh fuck," like I actually have this idea, like this is, and he gets them out of the situation. Like he's like the
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
Rick of their Rick and Morty duo, where he's like, okay, this and where I feel like Cartman is always like the joke with him is he's always falling short. Like his plans are genius, but he
Mhm. Yeah.
fails. He fails to like follow all the way through to the end, right? Like the
Mhm.
Casa Bonita
Mhm.
episode, right? Like his plan
Mhm.
almost works, but then he fails. He always fails
Yes.
to account for like one last detail, and it like gets fucked up.
Mhm.
You know, like the Casa
Mhm.
Bonita episode, they
Mhm.
find Butters. He doesn't account for that like the refrigerator might get taken to the dump, and Butters can get out, and then he'll be found, right? Like,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so I agree. Stewie wins because Cartman is always falling
But
short. He does
but
not think about the end game. He's too impulsive.
also because there is that episode, or there's like that character in Family Guy that's basically like the opposite of Stewie. Like he's like the other like
Bertram.
big brain smart kid. and Stewie defeats him. So it's like even when they introduce a character like him to go against him, Stewie owns him.
It's like his
So because of
half
that, I
brother,
stay
right?
with yeah,
Is that the one you're
yeah,
talking about? The one with the red hair?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Yeah, Bertram. You're right.
yeah, yeah. So I
Yep.
feel like that. I feel like that deserves pointing
Yep.
out.
Yep. I agree. I think we agreed on all those verses. I don't think there was
Yeah,
maybe I need to crank it up a little bit next week, make some more, try to
I'll come up with a few examples for next time.
yeah. Yeah. But I think it still led to some interesting conversation.
Yeah, I agree. Especially the Walter versus Lalo one. I think that was a fun one for sure.
Yeah, it was interesting to think about that. But yeah, Walter fucks him up. Lalo
Well,
gets close, but Walter fucks him up, I would say. I wanted to do another fictional face off,
really?
man.
Yeah.
Fictional character face off. You
Let's
down
do
for
it.
that?
Yeah, let's do it. And then we can go
All right.
into our recaps.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Dude, the first one I had was all right, check it out, man.
Mhm.
We got Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs versus Heath Ledger's Joker, who comes out on top, man.
Hannibal from Silence
And
of
for
the
con-
Lambs. Okay,
and
go
for
ahead.
context, everybody, these fictional face-offs, it's like a showdown between these characters. In there, like not which character is written better or anything like that, but like a literal showdown between these two fictional characters if they were in the same world doing what they do best. Yeah, go for it, Edward.
So, Silence of the Lambs versus Joker Batman. I think for me, it has to be a clear winner for the Joker.
Oh, you think so, huh?
Yeah, and I say that because I don't know, like it's like when you think about the Dark Knight, and it's like the Dark Knight is like this heightened reality where you have a Batman, wearing a gimp suit, running around punching people. Like when you have
Yeah.
that, and you have the Joker, whom is able to do insane things in that movie in terms of like how like Machiavellian he is and how he plans everything out and how it's like how he's able to so perfectly manipulate people and turn them against
Mhm.
their own principles and values, orchestrate these huge events across the whole city. They have Batman just like spinning his tail until he just says like, "Hey, the only way for me to beat this guy is to do the espionage act and
Right.
spy on the whole city." Like is to break the law and to break to
To do
fucking
the Patriot Act,
yeah, exactly.
shit
And
on everyone's phones.
exactly,
Yeah.
just like spy on everybody. I can't. This guy's outpacing me, so I have to break the law to beat him. Like
Yeah.
the fact that it takes that, whereas Hannibal, when we start that movie, the guy's already imprisoned. Like they got him.
He gets away
He
though,
gets
bro.
away.
He's got a pretty good. Dude. He's got. Hang on. Here's the thing though. He's got a better escape than Joker because Joker's escape makes no sense.
No,
Batman leaves him alone, and then they put a guy in the room with him, and
right?
they're just like, "You stand by the door for no fucking
Yeah,
reason."
exactly.
The Joker's just like, "You know how many of your friends I killed?" The guy's just like, "I'm gonna beat you up." And Joker, yeah, it's like,
Nasal
why would
voice.
you have a steel door
Yeah.
there? Why would you put a guy? That always
Right.
bothered
You
me
could have.
so
The
much,
guy
man.
could have just stood
It bothered me
outside.
more than
Yeah.
any other
Yeah.
hole in that movie.
Yeah.
None of the other ones bothered me, but that one
Yeah.
always bothered
Yeah.
me.
But
But all
because
that whole thing with like, oh, the Joker couldn't know this or that. It's like, I don't
yeah.
know, man. I could buy it, but
Yeah.
that motherfucker standing
Being
by the steel
inside.
door like
Yeah.
a bouncer,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, the steel door. Yeah, the lock's actually not working on that steel door. We got to put a
Yeah.
guy there.
Yeah, I
It's
guess that
like,
I guess
fuck.
that scene was left in the corner floor. So no, the door it's broken. Put a guy in there. Put a
But
guy
then
in there.
Hannibal's, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Then Hannibal's escape was
Mm.
incredible. He's like, where's another guy's face
Yeah.
to escape? Yeah, dude, he even strung the other guard up in like some, like flayed angel
Right.
pose.
Right.
It's like, holy shit, how'd you have time to do that?
Yeah. I don't know.
But
I give it to the Joker because
yeah,
that movie just makes him seem like a deity, like literally, like even like it's like he performs impossible acts. He robs a bank in which he kills everybody, and then the last guy's him. Somehow he makes it perfectly coordinated to where the last guy is him. It's like
yeah,
it's too much. It's too much with that guy. I feel like he has. I feel like when it comes to like the crazy like the ranged serial killer guys, I give it to him over Hannibal.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, I'd probably agree with that.
I'll give it to Hannibal over
the only thing
Joaquin's
Hannibal.
one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would give it to Hannibal over any of the other Jokers. Because Hannibal in the movies, at least, he doesn't really do anything all that impressive other than the escape from jail.
Right.
Dragging in jail the whole time.
And going like this.
Then yeah.
What a weird
and then
thing.
The movie. Yeah, and then the movie Hannibal, the sequel to Silence of the Lamb, I don't recall him doing anything that clever in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. I mean, he gets the jump on people and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely smart, but there wasn't like a genius sort of plan in that movie that I recall that he did.
Right.
Hannibal's lame. The movie Hannibal, really lame. It's lame, man. There's some parts, there's stuff about it that I like.
Yeah.
There's stuff about it that I like Gary Oldman as Mason Verger. Have you seen that?
No.
Him in the wheelchair. Look up Mason Verger, Hannibal. Gary Oldman. Mason Verger. It's like insane makeup. He was like a victim of Hannibal Lecter who survived.
Oh, I see. Oof. I don't like that. I'm not gonna look at that. Dude, if you look that up,
Michael Pitt plays him in the show Hannibal.
If you look it up, like the images, you have to click on them for them to show up. It says this image contains explicit content. Oof, that's grotesque.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, they made them look like the people who like get their faces mauled by chimps or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that character is played by Michael Pitt in the show Hannibal. The same thing happens to him. He gets fucking mauled.
Had I sent you that thing before? The whole like cement? I believe it's pronounced concrete, baby. Had I sent you that?
I don't think so. This is a callback to the concrete episode, my old concrete job. Okay, the next one I got here is I got Anton Chigurh versus the Salamanca twins from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
I give it to Anton Chigurh right away.
Yeah, I do too.
Because also that's another guy where like Joker, that character, it's like a god. I mean, literally, like from what I understand, like the symbolism of the character is like he's like an unstoppable force. Like literally, like a god.
Death.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be Death from like they based him off of Death in Ingmar Bergman's Seventh Seal. Yeah.
So it's like, and again with that character, it's like so calculative. Like everything just goes according to plan. Obviously, it's fascinating in that movie how he gets into that car crash, which obviously that kind of throws you off. But it's an amazing way of ending that film. But yeah, no, I gotta give it to him. Like if
the Salamanca twins are dumb, dude.
Exactly. Like that's what I was about to say. That like if the Salamanca twins got taken out by Eggman,
Eggman,
yeah, by what's it called? By Humpty Dumpty. Then it's like they'll be taken out by Anton Chigurh for sure.
I agree. Yeah, that one was more of a fun. This one, honestly, I did not think there would be any controversy. I knew you were going to say Anton Chigurh. I thought of Anton Chigurh as well, but I just thought it would be fun to shit on the Salamanca twins because it really is like you watch those Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. It's like these guys are scary.
Yeah,
they're scary. They're physically,
imposing
with guns. Yeah, they're imposing. But they're really dumb. I mean, you can outsmart them pretty easily. Which is, like Nacho just hid in like that oil tanker.
Yeah.
And like the
one
of them, Marco,
he
I think it was.
them.
He just like sticks his head in and he's just like, oh,
good enough
here. Which Nacho was also Nacho was also an idiot for hiding in that thing.
Yeah, he should have kept going.
That was dumb. They did a couple things like that in that last season where they
Mm.
did that too in Germany where the guy was running from Lalo and he hides in the shed. It's just like
Exactly.
why
Yeah.
would you do that?
Yeah.
It felt weird. It felt like the writers were sacrificing some integrity in those couple
For the
scenes
sake of
just to
just
have
getting the dots, the one point to the other point,
yeah,
to
yeah.
have some kind of conflict or stakes.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like Breaking Bad, when you really think about it, dude, those twins should have, dude, they should have easily taken out Hank, man.
Exactly.
They should have
To me,
easily.
that was always like the weirdest one. Like I remember even when I watched that, I was like, really? I was like,
Yeah,
really?
even with the heads up from Gus,
Yeah.
they still should have been. That should not have been that hard. But they walk. They do like their Frankenstein walk,
Yeah,
their Jason walk.
assholes.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the part where they're chasing after Nacho, and he's hot wiring the car, and they're just like walking toward the car. It's like you're giving him a lot of time,
Yeah.
guys, to
Yeah.
hot wire this car.
Yeah.
Which that part makes me clench
Oh
every
yeah.
time I
Yeah.
watch it. We're
Oh
not
yeah.
just hot wiring the car, and they're
Yeah.
just walking right up to it. You're like, fuck, fuck, fuck,
They
fuck,
had to
fuck.
do it. Like if they run, it's not gonna be enough time. It's like guys, just walk.
Yeah,
Just do the things you always do. Do what got you killed. Do what
yeah.
killed you guys. Just walk. Just keep walking. But for those who don't know in the audience, those twins, one of them is worth
Oh yeah.
more than the other. Like if you want them to do a cameo, one of them is like $500 and the other one's like $100. One of them is worth way more than the other one.
That is so weird. Maybe he must have been, and he must have more experience. He must have more credits, I
I
guess.
don't know. Maybe he's a
They
fan
must not.
favorite. Maybe fans have voted in some kind of polls, and it's come across that one of them people like more than the other one.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm looking at their roles right now. Luis has way more roles. He has like
They're
twice the role.
twins. Why should
Yeah, it
one
doesn't
be
mean
worth more than the other?
yeah, doesn't mean they're going to be in everything together. I guess.
Look, man.
Wait. Hang on. Luis was in Dexter. I don't remember that.
Really? Look, man. If 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 I had if I had a film, right, and then it was like, oh, you can get one of the Salamanca brothers for the sake of upping like the publicity for the film, or like maybe they can get maybe like the fact that their names are gonna be in the film will get some people to watch the movie or something. And they were like, well, one of them is worth 500, one of them's worth 100. Or we're like, let's get the 100 one.
Yeah,
Let's
that is
get the
true.
cheaper one. They look the same.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. And that way I'm getting the other one for free. Look, if I have to have like twins, and it's like, oh, let's get the Salamanca twins. I'll be like, no. Let's get the cheaper one. And then
And just digitally.
yeah, we'll do the twinkle ball, the twinkle boss thing that they did in fucking the social network. We'll just use him twice.
Yeah.
Using that guy twice is cheaper than getting the other guy once.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. Dude, he got killed by Dexter.
Mhm.
I don't remember this, but yeah, I'm looking at images right now. He was one of Dexter's victims. Wow. I don't remember that. And I definitely knew it at the time. I recognized him, I'm sure. I guess I forgot he was in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on here. Yeah, the Salamanca twins are stupid, man. They're really dumb. They got outsmarted quite a bit.
They did.
Yeah, I mean, even they couldn't even kill Walt when he was in the shower. Granted, they didn't want to. They ended up mine, but still, it was just, that was a creepy ass scene, man. When Walt's in the shower
Yeah.
and the Salamanca twins, like they come in and just sitting there waiting for him with that axe, and then Gus calls them and is like, he texts them, tells them to go to Pollos Hermanos. Then Walt opens the door and they're just gone. That was so creepy because you knew, like, 30 seconds, it would have been a whole different story. If Walt took a 30-second faster shower, it's a good thing Walt decided to rub one out in the shower that day.
Right. So those extra 30 seconds.
Yeah. That load saved my life, Jesse. Okay. The next one's kind of just for me, I guess.
Yeah, what you got? What's the
I,
next one?
I always wanted to see Vic Mackey from The Shield versus Lalo Salamanca from
Or
Better Call
you're gonna
Saul.
have to answer that one. I don't know much about Big Mac. I've only seen the first episode, but
Yeah.
just aesthetically, I would like Lalo to win over over the second Humpty Dumpty in your list.
Yeah. Can you imagine that the Salamanca twins get killed by Hank, and then Lalo gets
Lalo,
killed by Vic Mackey.
it's like, oh, their biggest weakness. The weaknesses are bold, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. It's really hard to say because Vic's like really smart in The Shield. He's really smart. I mean, he's conniving. It would be a really interesting chess match. I really don't know. And the thing in The Shield too, Vic always kind of has the fact that he's a cop on his side, so he can kind of cut corners. You know, he has that as an advantage over his opponents in that show, where he can use his, he can use color of authority to, he can use his badge, the Shield, to, cut corners. Oh, I can, gain entry to this place by just saying, I'm a cop, get down, shit like that. I don't know, man. It's really hard. It's hard. I mean, I want to say, it's tough.
You're the authority on this.
Yeah, because Lalo's fucking smart, but Lalo was like really impulsive. And I don't know how impulsive Vic is in The Shield. Because Vic's, he's a bastard. He's definitely a sociopath like Lalo, but I don't recall in The Shield any... He's impulsive in smaller scenes where it doesn't really matter, but he's not impulsive with like huge moves, Well, like Lalo in Better Call Saul, he was impulsive with like a big chess move. He would be super impulsive with it, Like the whole thing, dude, it just gets me every time. Like minor spoilers here for Better Call Saul, but it's like, with the whole laundry thing, it's like when you found out where the laundromat was, right? Gus's laundromat.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you call your cousins?
Right, exactly. Why would you just solo this whole thing?
Yeah, he really should have, dude. He should have gotten help on that. His cousins would have been there. They would have been there like that, man. They would have shown right up.
Yeah.
They would have taken everybody out. And
Exactly.
no chance.
Aren't those two guys supposed to be like a whole army on themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Gus wouldn't have been doing his little cord trick then, kicking the cord. Pistol under the forklift.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
You ain't getting
exactly.
Dude, if you had twins there too.
Yeah. So you can only kill one guy.
Yeah.
You can only get away with. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you can only get away with killing Lalo in that situation, and then the other two guys
Yeah.
are going to kill you. You're like, well, this is how you die,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, I'm gonna have to give it to. I know you don't have a dog in this fight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to give it to Vic because I really don't think
they're weak. They're weak towards ball guys. Ball guys are the weaknesses.
I really do. Oh, that was too loud. I really do think. I think Vic would win because I don't know if Lalo is. I think people overstate how smart Lalo is in that show. I don't know if Lalo's like actually as smart as he thinks he is in Better Call Saul.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things in that show he doesn't figure out. You know what I mean? Like he never figures out that Jimmy was lying to him about the desert. And then when he realizes that Jimmy was lying, he has this whole theory that like Jimmy and Nacho were working together to take him out. And it's just like, what are you doing, man? Like, what are you even talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And then like also, I don't know, like earlier in like season 5, I'm trying to think. I feel like there was something like that too, where when Lalo went to jail for that little stretch of time, I feel like there was just something where it was kind of like, it's kind of obvious here, man, that people are. Oh, I think he definitely should have sniffed out. He definitely should have sniffed out that. I don't know. I'm going to abandon that thought. But anyway, my point is, I don't think Lalo was as smart as people give him credit for.
Yeah, I stand
Do you
by
think that's a
you.
fair assessment?
Yes, I think that I think he was as persuasive as people give him credit for, and I think he was incredibly like smart and like strategic. But I think people overstate his smartness because obviously there's some moves that he made that he could have made better. But
Yeah.
obviously, when you have a story that precedes another story in which the characters already survive, I guess you need some contrivances,
Yeah.
and they just didn't. I guess they couldn't find a way to get around that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, they made his downfall his impulsivity,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
made sense because sociopaths are generally very impulsive. Um, and again, Vic Mackey in The Shield, he's impulsive, but when it comes to the big picture and the big moves, he's not quite. He's not as impulsive, as far as I remember.
Hmm.
He actually is very level-headed and very loyal to his team too. Like there's certain scenes where it's like Vic has every reason, to kill this teammate of his, and he goes against his better judgment and out of respect for his teammate. You know what I mean? So there's things like that where it's like, yeah, this guy's like a little more level-headed than a lot of sociopaths.
Hmm.
All right. So the next one I got Punisher versus John Wick.
I don't know, man. This one's
They
tough
both
because
take a lot of punishment, man.
exactly like this one's tough because I also don't have like a lot of experience with the Punisher. Like I saw the second season of the show, and I haven't
Yeah.
I haven't read any of the comics. I haven't seen anything else with the character. I just know of the character. And I've seen three John Wick movies. I feel pretty well versed on John Wick. I am going to give it to the Punisher.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's out of a gut. I have a gut feeling about him.
A
It
gut
feels,
feeling.
yeah, it feels like for a character that's been around for so long and whose name is the Punisher. I feel like maybe he would come out on top
Yeah.
versus
I don't know.
Keanu Reeves.
I got to give it to John Wick, man, because John Wick. Like if we're going off like the John Barenthal's Punisher, right?
Mhm.
Like the guy was kind of an idiot, and it's the fault of the writers, but we can't really excuse a fictional character's choices by pointing at the writers. We have to look at the character on their own,
Mhm.
And it was like, from what I recall, like that guy was an idiot. Like he was kind of dumb, where it's like, they tricked him with that whole thing. Remember that scene where he was fighting all those goons in that warehouse, and then Billy or whatever, Jigsaw like tricks him.
Mhm.
They have like those corpses in a room, and when Punisher shoots like through the door and he comes in, he's like, "Oh, I killed them." Remember that they make him think he killed like 3 innocent women or something.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah.
And then he's like done. He's like, I'm done, and he goes to the
Yeah.
hospital.
I remember that.
And then someone has to tell him like, no, those were already corpses. They
Yeah.
tricked you, and he's just like, oh, okay, get me out of this thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like
This guy's
if
fucking stupid.
if we're talking just like about one guy over the other guy, right? If we're talking like about the Bernthal Punisher versus John Wick, then yeah, John Wick for sure. Like if we're talking about the mythos, I don't even know the mythos of the character, but I want to give it to the character. But if it's Bernthal versus Keanu, I give it to Keanu.
Yeah, I mean,
Keanu
if we're doing like John Wick versus the Punisher in his entirety, the mythos, like you just said,
Mhm.
it seems kind of like a tie. They're almost the same character.
Mhm. Yeah, that's why it's tough. That's a tough
except
one
John
because
Wick
of
is
that.
John Wick's on the other side of the law, though. Well, they're both on the wrong side of the law, but John Wick is he's fighting for the criminals, not
Mhm.
against the criminals. Like,
Mhm.
at least in his heyday, in the movies, it's a little different where he's all the other characters are criminals, but he's fighting criminals and allying with criminals, But yeah, I would say, sound logic, Edward. All right, dude. I have I have Alvin and the Chipmunks versus
What?
versus Scrat from Ice Age.
Which one's that? Like the thing that was almost like
The squirrel
the
from
squirrel?
Ice Age.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude, this is part 2 of Remy versus Stewart.
Stuart, you know I'm not partial towards Ice Age movies. I tried to delete them from my head, but
Dude, Ice Age 1, dude, the first Ice Age is fantastic.
I
Love it, man.
if I were to answer that, I would give it to the Ice Age creature over Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah.
Because that creature
That
is
thing is
resourceful.
aggressive.
It's aggressive, it's resourceful, and it has 1,000 lives. It just is. Whereas Alvin and the Chipmunks are like city boys. They're pampered. They don't know how to fight. They don't know how to fight. They have like girlfriends. They're like in a little boy band. They don't know nothing about life. They don't know nothing about struggle. They've never gone a day without food.
Or Scrat has to fight for his
exactly,
nut.
dude. I would put all my money the same way that when you and I had that Remy versus what is it, Stuart Little, and I gave it to Remy. I gave this to the Ice Age one. I gave it to whoever's the scrappiest.
Because you said that Remy could just control a person, right, to fuck Stewart up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
but also, if you remember, also a big point for my Remy argument was that Remy was a rat. And Stuart Little, it's a mouse.
Stuart's a mouse. It's true. Yeah. That's sound logic right there.
I think that is unimpeachable logic.
I think you're right. I think Scrat would fuck those 3 chipmunks up. I think they wouldn't even know what hit them, dude.
I don't think they would know.
Scrat's a squirrel / rat, so he's bigger than the chipmunks.
Yeah, they're just chipmunks.
Yeah, he would fuck them up, dude.
They got abducted, like they don't. I've watched 3 of those movies. They have nothing going for them. They have nothing.
Dude, those movies are so fucking bad. All of them are just this guy Dave who's like fucking up. Wasn't that his name, Dave?
Yeah, it was Dave.
And then Ian just tries to steal them in every movie.
Yeah, every movie, and he succeeds every movie, and then Dave gets them back every movie. And those chipmunks are supposed to find the squirrel that is like always on the hunt. No way. No way.
Yeah, because that squirrel even fucks up Sid in Ice Age.
Yeah.
Remember, there's like the part where Sid's like, "Ooh, an acorn," and then fucking
that's a good one.
Pine cones. These are my favorite. Yeah, but he finds an acorn, and then Scrat like flies out of nowhere and just starts fucking him up. Beats his ass, dude. That sloth who's like 10 times his size.
Yeah.
Scrat beats his ass.
Yeah, so I have everything on Scrat.
Yeah, Scrat all the way. All right, last one. Punisher versus Hulk's penis.
Hulk's penis. That's my argument. That's I stand by that.
Yeah, Hulk's penis, dude.
I stand by that.
That's a hammer, bro.
It is. You can't take on
that. That thing's probably a hammer. That thing, dude, if you look closely in the 2008 version, I think you can see it like coming out of the left purple pant leg, right?
If he punches it,
it
bounces back at him, and it just destroys him.
Yeah.
There's nothing to it. Hulk wins.
My dog's going crazy, man.
I know. I hear him. He's part of the show.
I noticed
he's a member.
Yeah, that's Scrat right there, my freaking dog.
Yeah.
Now what I've learned is that his barks never make it through the background noise reducer.
Yeah, they don't.
They never make it.
Yeah.
So
sadly,
you hear that, buddy? You hear that, buddy? You're silenced forever.
You're getting no attention.
Silent. Yeah. But yeah, Hulk's penis all the way, dude. Because think about it, all you have is are guns, but it's Hulk's penis.
Yeah,
like that thing.
He can't. The thing is that either it wins or it's a stalemate. He can't beat it. He cannot beat it. It's invincible.
Yeah, exactly. He could wear it down, you know. Like if Punisher could wear it down, you know.
Mhm.
But no,
No,
that
no.
penis would destroy him.
Exactly, it would destroy him. It would destroy him. It would
Yeah, let's
destroy
do it.
him.
Let's do like
Yeah,
a lightning round.
there's
Yeah,
no
let's
arguing.
do the lightning round. All right, the first one. You'll be able to speak to this better. I got Goku from Dragon Ball Z
Oh, my
versus
boy,
or
my
Dragon
boy,
Ball
Goku.
versus Thor from the Marvel Universe.
Goku all the way. Like
Okay.
Goku is. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's Goku. It's
Yeah.
Goku.
Okay.
Like all that Thor has is that he's like I don't know what.
He's got a hammer.
Has that hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a hammer. He has some thundery stuff. But it's like Goku. When Goku goes into Super Saiyan 2, he can manipulate like electricity because his body starts like just like manifesting electricity. I don't think electricity is gonna be like I don't think that's gonna be an effective weapon against Goku. And Goku himself, he can go into Super Saiyan God, so he himself is also a god. So it's like I don't think Thor's godhood is gonna help him either.
Yeah.
So in terms of like sheer strength, resistance, and like durability, and like just sheer power and ability to manifest like power, I got my money on Goku 100%.
Yeah, I'm really overdue on watching Dragon. I've never seen an ounce of Dragon Ball. I've seen like
Mm,
clips. I've never watched a full episode of Dragon Ball. Just wasn't something I grew up with because I don't
yeah.
remember what channel it was on. Even was it on Toon Disney or something?
It
No,
was like
that was
on it was
Digimon. They had Digimon.
yeah, no, it was like they had it. I know 4 Kids, they did like the dubbing to English. I think it was like on Nickelodeon or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember what channel had it. I never watched it. But I kind of want to just see what it's all about. Watch a few episodes at least because I feel like uncultured. Not that I haven't seen like most things under the sun, but
Mm.
okay, you'll like this one, dude. I got Barry Egan from Punch Drunk Love versus Happy Gilmore. Dude, who you got?
Uh, I have Barry Egan.
You think so? Why do you have
I
Barry
have Barry
Egan?
Egan only because Happy is like
Because they
all
both
talk.
use golf clubs, by the way,
Yeah,
to hit
but
people.
Happy's all talk. Like Happy is like more so like just yelling and screaming, and Happy can go on. Happy can go against like a guy who doesn't really have like much else or a lot of power or experience. Because you have to remember that in Happy Gilmore, that old guy beats him up. Like in
Oh
his
yeah.
own movie, he gets beat up by an old gentleman, by like a guy like like a 60, 70-year-old guy.
Does he? I
Um,
don't remember that.
yeah, he beats his ass, dude. He like beats him up. So I have my money on Barry.
Yeah.
Barry showed huge strength, capabilities, took on 3 guys at the same
Yeah, he
time.
beat up
Barry could
all
not.
of
I mean,
those loan
Happy
shark dudes.
Happy could not take on one old guy. So I got Barry Egan.
Great point. It'd be a golf club duel, and Barry Egan would just clean house, fucking
Yeah,
decapitate Happy Gilmore.
yeah. Oh, dude,
He'd
absolutely.
become Sad Gilmore. Um, and then, dude, okay, this is one for the ages. I think I'll just make this the last one. I have more here, but I'll make this the last one
Mm.
because we can't
I have to
top.
think up. I have to think up some Barry Egan. Barry Egan versus that was the best one.
Yeah,
I
you got to
had.
admit that was like that was kind of clever. That took some ingenuity
Yeah,
on my
that
part.
was a great. That was
I
a
gotta
great
give
one.
myself thank you. I'm glad you recognized that. But you'll really appreciate this one. So this is sort of part of our rodent tournament, you could
Uh
say.
huh. Yeah.
So we've talked about, so to give you guys,
Remy versus Stuart
dude,
Little.
this is the tournament, right? Because we
Mm.
both said Stewart would whoop Remy, right? Or no?
Mm.
No?
I had Remy. Remy's a rat. That was my whole point. Remy's a rat. Stuart Little's a little
That's
mouse. I
true.
had
That's true.
Remy.
All right,
On like a
let's
bare
pretend
knuckle
that.
fight, I had Remy.
Okay, well, let's pretend that Remy got disqualified because he was sniffing cocaine off Linguini's ass, and and so Stewart progressed to the finals.
Okay.
So then on the other bracket, we had Scrat versus Alvin and the Chipmunks. Scrat from Ice Age versus
That's right.
the titular Alvin and the Chipmunks. And we said Scrat would just go in a fucking tornado mode and fuck up
That's
those
right.
chipmunks, dude. Because
Yeah,
those
yeah,
chipmunks,
that's right.
you said it yourself, they're city boys. They're city
They're
boys.
city boys.
Yeah, they're
They're
city
city
boys.
boys.
They sit
They
around
wear
singing.
hoodies and sweaters and singing. Yeah,
Yeah,
they don't have it in them.
they
They don't have the dog in them.
yeah,
Scrat has
yeah,
the
they
dog
don't
in
have the
them.
fight. Oh yeah, but Scrat's out there, man. He's in the ice age. He's
Yeah,
fighting for that acorn, man.
yeah,
He's going ham for that acorn. Dude, attacks a full-grown ass sloth
yeah.
for his acorn. He kicks Sid's ass. He beats
He
the shit
does.
out of Sid. Sid's like, "Oh, an acorn." And Scrat whoops him up and down the
Yeah,
fucking hill.
yeah,
So Scrat all the way. The Chipmunks are
yeah.
sitting around, dude. Freaking
Fuck the
Theodore.
chipmunks.
They're sitting
Yeah,
around eating peanuts at
yeah.
Dave's house or Ian, depending on who's kidnapping them
They're
in the
too comfortable,
film.
man. They have girlfriends. They're too comfortable.
Dude,
They're not
Scrat.
winning.
Yeah, Scrat would like take Alvin and Simon's heads and just smash them together like
Yeah,
10 times. And
yeah.
then Theodore would like be begging for his life, and Scrat would just finish him with those teeth, dude.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with me, man. So, so you got Scrat versus Stewart, man. Scrat versus Stewart Little.
Look, this is my
But we could do Scrat
thing.
versus Remy too. Wait, triple threat.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is my thing. This is my thing. Remy's Revenge. I just don't think Stuart Little has it, man. Because Stuart Little, he's just like he's a smart little mouse, you know. But like Alvin and the Chipmunks, he's just a city mouse. He has a
You're
family.
right.
He's like he's castrated. Like he's you know he's domesticated. You know.
Yeah. That's a
And then he
deleted
has
scene from Stuart Little 2. Falcon
they,
castrates
they,
him
they castrate
with his talons.
him. And he's always just like barely outdoing that falcon with his smarts, you know. But I think the truth of the matter is that when it all comes down to the facts, when it all comes down to hands, and being like, man, you gotta throw hands. You know, this guy's gonna fight you. You're gonna have to fight him.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think Stuart Little has it in him.
No.
I don't think he has it in him.
Well,
Like
no,
I
yeah,
think,
not if it's just hands. Like if he can't use any machinery or something, like
yeah.
hell no, dude.
And honestly, man, I even think that if you give him that, if you go like, yeah, you can use some like weapon or some machine, I still think Scrap bodies him.
You think
I
Scrat would
think
just tear up that shit? Yeah, because
I think
he beat up Sid.
I think Scrat bodies him. I think Stuart Little might have a shot against Remy
Yeah.
with weapons and like with preparation.
Yeah.
But I think Scrap bodies Stuart Little. And with that being
So
said,
Stewart's eliminated. Now it's Scrat and
it's Stuart's
Remy.
eliminated. So this all comes down to Scrat and Remy, man. And Remy's a rat, man.
And Scrat's
But
a
Remy's
squirrel rat.
but that's the thing, man. I think the issue then is that Remy is a little soft. Like he's a rat, but he's a little bit soft.
Yeah.
Like when he gets in trouble in the movie Stuart Little, his rat family helps
You're
him.
talking about
They have that,
Ratatouille.
yeah, Ratatouille, yeah, and they have that big rat. He has like a big rat brother who like
Yeah.
helps him out.
Yeah.
But again, this is hands. This is you. You're on your own. You're not gonna get on top. You're not gonna get on the head of that one dude. What's his name? Linguini. And I don't think Linguini would actually like help him. I think Linguini would get destroyed.
Yeah.
Against Scrat. I have Scrat, man.
Yeah, Scrat all the way. Scrat wins the freaking rodent tournament, man.
Scrat wins.
I'll see
this
if I can think.
round.
I'll see if I can think of another fictional rodent that might be able to take on Scrat. But Scrat's impressive, dude.
Yeah.
Scrat's a very impressive competitor.
We could follow this up. This is a teaser for the audience. I just came up with this one, but Scrat versus Master Splinter from the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, dude, yeah. Okay, that's interesting. We'll do that. We'll do that on another episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. To be continued. Oh man, that is so stupid but hilarious.
It is hilarious.
I'm proud of Barry Egan versus Happy Gilmore, dude. Because I thought of like Billy Madison. And I'm like, nah, Billy Madison. He's just playing with bathtub toys, dude.
He's not gonna do nothing.
No. Waterboy, maybe. Waterboy. Waterboy's got that wrestling advantage.
Waterboy, maybe. That would have been an interesting one too.
Yeah.